Without art, there's no culture, and with no culture, the world is a bland and boring place. So especially right now, when the world is more bland and boring, it's super important to have art, and it's super important to donate to the arts so everyone can have that experience.
Ask yourself, who do you want to be? I see myself in a whole new way, whole new kind of way. Asking, is this what it seems? Asking, am I really free? Just ask, just ask. Come on, lift your voice and don't pass. Just ask, just ask. Come on, lift your voice and don't pass.
How has STG impacted you?
So STG has impacted me in so many ways, but I think that the most impactful thing that I've gotten out of STG and being involved in STG educational programs and performance programs is just the connections that I've made here, whether that be with other artists and other young people, but also with mentors and people who are helping me grow as an artist and giving me resources to succeed, including Lex. You've done so much for me and like always give me like personal opportunities to like improve my music or share my music, and I really appreciate that. And a lot of the mentors that I've met and musicians that I've met through STG have been like my number one go-tos when I need help with something, and I need help often because we're all like growing and we're all learning and expanding our art and stuff. But to have this community that I always feel like I can reach out to for support, and I've met like some of my favorite people to collaborate with through STG programs and spaces and stuff, and I just like am so grateful for the growth that I've had during my time at STG. So that's what I'm thankful for.
STG has also impacted me in a lot of ways. The first way it impacted me was through Dance This in 2017, where I had the opportunity to work with my whole dance crew and perform on the Moore Theater stage, as well as the Paramount in the next year after that. And it was so incredible to have an opportunity to work with other choreographers and learn different dance styles, as well as grow as an artist myself and perform where many great artists had performed in the past. And it taught me discipline as a dancer. It taught me that I could go somewhere as a dancer. I built connections with other dance groups and other choreographers, and I'm super grateful for that experience.
So STG has impacted me in a lot of ways since I don't know, since however long I've been involved with musical theater. I've always been going and seeing shows at STG. I've seen a ton of musicals there, and that was kind of like my introduction to STG. And then getting involved in this program was really helpful for me because it forced me to expand how I looked at art, because I'd been kind of looking at it with a very narrow lens, and being able to collaborate with a bunch of other people and work with dancers and even some technical aspects, it really helped me appreciate all art more outside of just musical theater, which I'm unbelievably grateful for. So yeah, STG has really helped me with that. So I appreciate that a lot.
For me, STG has been a huge part of my life for most of my artistic career, I guess, whether that was Songwriters Lab or More Music at the More, and especially this program. It's been sort of like a backbone for me as an artist, just providing that space to young people like myself and all of us is something that I think is incredibly cool that STG does. And I've met so many cool people from all of those programs. And I think I'm still in touch with almost every single one of them today. And we work together, and it's just a space where we can make those connections. And I think that's really life-changing, at least for me. And I really appreciate it.
Well, STG has impacted me in a lot of different ways, but I think the main way is STG is the reason I decided to pursue arts at all. Throughout like my experience in high school, being a young woman of color, I wasn't given a lot of opportunities at my school in the arts, and getting this space, I started in my junior year of high school with Lex and with the Young Ambassadors crew, and it really just changed my life. It showed me like a community of artists that I'd never had before, and I got to make these amazing connections like everyone else is talking about. but also I've learned so many different realms of the arts industry. I know that I'm not just capable as a performer. I know that I can do arts admin. I know more things about the industry than I've ever known before, and a lot more than like other counterparts that I've met through college now and through high school. I just feel like I'm a much more well-rounded artist because of STG, and I'm able to pursue a really sustainable, fulfilling career because of it.
Yeah, like Alyssa said, STG was like a great way for me to know to like, I guess like confirm that I do want to do like continue participate in the arts, because growing up, my parents has always said that like, oh, if you go into the arts, you're gonna like be a starving artist, like you're not gonna get anything done, and it's just not a great way to like, I guess, pursue a career. And so it was just a fun way to meet more people, learn more about the people behind the arts, and not just seeing like people's perfect lives and like just making connections like everyone else said. And also during quarantine, participating in like the YA programs has been like a great way for me to like keep a check on reality, like keeping time, making sure that I go to meetings on time. And yeah, and before then, coming to meetings, that was a great way to like not just learn about the arts, also just learn about how to function as a human being normally. Yeah. So I would say if I would rate my STG experience as a Yelp review, it would be like a 5 out of 5. Yeah.
A way that STG has impacted me was, for me, I feel like it has allowed me to grow and be comfortable in art form, because if anybody knows me, everyone knows that I am a very shy and very quiet person. Like even in group settings, like I am very quiet and tend to like shy myself away. But through STG, it's allowed me to grow and become more comfortable in who I am as an artist and as an actor. And it has allowed me to like step out of my comfort zone and join other programs such as the Songwriters Lab, which is something that I would never have done like before STG. Like being and like STG's Young Ambassadors is like the first one of the first things that is what like helped me learn and grow to become more comfortable in who I am as an artist. And I just like really love the connections that I made and just the opportunities that STG has to offer for like many young artists. And it's just like, I don't know, I really love this program, and it's just allowed me to grow as a young artist. And yeah.
Why do you think that people should donate to the arts right now?
I think the main reason that people should donate to the arts right now is because the arts are essential. And I think nobody's even given it that recognition until now. Like throughout this pandemic and throughout all of the lockdowns and all of the different things that have been happening in the world, the first thing we turn to for comfort or for happiness or for anything is art. We turn to all of these different kinds of art forms. And this industry is what's struggling the most right now. And I just think it's so sad that people don't realize that art is essential, and people put it down so much as a career and just as a field in general, when it's what provides us joy. Like, I don't know, when I'm sad, the first thing I turn to is music, and I turn to listen to music, and I sing songs with my friends, and I listen to musicals, and I don't know what I would do without that. And I think a lot of people have made that realization throughout this year, just by watching TV shows or watching these like live streams of Broadway pro shots or whatever it is. And I think that that's just one of the reasons that art is essential and why people should donate.
And I also think it's really important, especially now, to donate so that theater programs like STG can continue surviving, because especially now, without being able to actually see people, even when I see people outside 6 feet apart, it's nice, but it's not exactly the same. So it feels really lonely sometimes, but it's always nice to have like an art form to invest yourself in and spend your time doing. Or on the other side, listening to musicals, like you said. Listening to music in general personally got me through the pandemic, and it's something that's always there. And always having something new to see or more art to consume is really impactful. And maybe that's for me personally, but I know a lot of people are affected by, what they can see or what they can listen to, and how art can be a way to express themselves. Yeah.
I think for me, looking back at like before the pandemic, the moments that have stood out to me the most and the moments that I remember and miss the most are being in a live theater or being in a live music venue and just experiencing the beauty of ex- being in a crowd, which I know isn't something that realistically can come back anytime soon, but seeing art happen live in front of your eyes, I think is something that is like incomparable to any other experience that you can have. And it's so important to remember that behind that experience is not only the artist, but so many other people that work so hard to make this art a reality for you watching it as the viewer. And this is something that I got a kind of a glimpse of when I was learning about the different aspects of what goes into the music industry, what goes into the entertainment industry, like through this program and meeting all these people who make STG shows a reality. Um, and the fact that live music and live art and live shows aren't a thing anymore is taking a huge toll on the people who work so hard on making live music what it is. And that I think that it's really important to donate to the arts so that we can keep these jobs and these careers in this industry alive. So that when we're out of all of this and when there's a vaccine and when we can gather again, like live music and live shows can be a thing that we can experience again, because that is like I think one of the most important parts of our culture, at least for me.
Art is not only something that's essential to the people around us, it's also a way to bring social change. And it's also a necessity for those of us who, it's also a necessity for people who perceive the world in different ways, because it's a universal language. And if you bring people from like all over the world into one room together, they'll probably and like have them watch a dance or like a theater performance, they'll probably understand what's happening, because it's so universal and so important to any culture around the world.
I loved going to the theaters and I loved watching shows. Like for me personally, like whenever I would like go see a show like at STG, like it was a way for me to like escape reality and just like watch like the magic and story unfold and just like be in the moment.
I think it's really, really important to donate and keep STG and its programs going right now. It just does so much for not only the arts industries and artists themselves, but it brings the community together. And that's something that we're really missing right now. And as much as I enjoy artists doing their live streams in whatever form that is, I think we all miss being there in person and witnessing that, because it's truly a magical thing watching someone up on a stage performing and doing what they love and feeling that love come back to you. That's something that I've really missed. I know everybody has, but to bring that back in the future, I think is extremely important. And this donating would help to make that possible again.
As young ambassadors, we're all like high school, young adults, and being a part of STG, it was like, for me at least, it helped, in a way, it helped me shape my identity. And just because the pandemic and everything else sort of is changing, functioning in a different way, it doesn't mean that other people stopped like continuing. And so I think by donating to STG and like continuing the educational programs, I think in a way it would help people realize their dreams, realize their own identities, and continue to pursue that.